Hello. I'm not going to keep this live up forever. Or not mean I'm not going to keep it up forever. I'm not going to be here forever. But there is something that has been like weighing on my soul, and I really want to talk about it. And I just want to start off now. Um, Anybody who comes to this video and they're like, oh, you're being a mammy for black men, and oh, you're playing Captain Save a Nigga or any stupid stuff like that, I'm going to tell you I'm simply not going to tolerate it because I'm specifically talking about children. And I'm going to say something that is not going to be popular with people, women specifically, who are irrational thinking, but that's perfectly valid. And if you are rational, you will see my point, and there should be no disagreement here among women unless something is very broken and twisted in you. I'm just going to throw it out there. There's not a lot of times I say emphatically on this channel that something is, has no, wiggle room for me, but this is a subject that really has no wiggle room for me. And as I've been perusing these YouTube streets, I'm hearing women applying their logic for fully grown Black men, right, to Black boys and children. And I don't understand what's wrong with some of you women. I'm just going to keep it honest. You guys know that I feel extremely strongly about the protection of children. Children are innocent. Even when a child is doing something wrong, as responsible adults, we should be looking for what we can do to protect that child and place them in an environment where they will be safe and loved and taught properly. We see a lot of behavior in children on the whole that is problematic, and that is normally environmental. It's often because of abuse. And I have to be honest, when I see hordes of Black women getting together to bash children, to bash little boys, to say that Black boys are inherently evil, that Black male children, that something is wrong with them, that is very scary for me. No more than I would tolerate a grown man trying to apply his logic about adult women to little girls, do I condone applying your logic about adult men to little boys. Something is very wrong with a fully grown individual who will try to treat a child or judge a child by the same measure that they would an adult. And I don't really care how anybody feels about this. Something is wrong with you, especially if you are a woman. As women give birth to humans, we give birth to men, we give birth to women, we give birth to both sexes. And the one place, and I feel very strongly about this, the one place a child should always be safe is when that child is among women. Now, I know there's a lot of trifling, terrible women out here where no child will be safe around them. But whether a child is a little boy, whether a child is a little girl, whether that child is white or Black or any color, when a woman is present, children should be safe and they should be loved. And whatever pain you have in your life, whatever's happened to you, whatever you feel about your adult counterparts should never, ever, ever, ever transfer into how you deal with a child. I don't care if you are foaming at the mouth with hate for Black men. That should never transfer to a child. Now, we stick our noses up and are ready to lynch a man who wants to apply his sexual desire for an adult woman to a little girl. We would never stand for a man applying his thought processes and his desires toward adult women to little girls. Not one woman with sense would ever agree that that was okay. But somehow we become complete hypocrites when it comes to little boys. And I'm going to tell you, as a woman and as a mother, all children to me are precious. All of them. And this sick, twisted game a lot of you guys are playing around YouTube, hordes of crazy women in the comment section acting like they've lost their damn minds and forgot the purpose of being a woman and a mother is to protect all children, to love children. That is our job, period. And you don't get to drop the ball on womanhood because you don't like black skin or males. Stop with that. I feel very strongly about this. I really don't think there's a line. I really don't think there's a line. And this idea that because a father is evil, something is wrong with his child is why a lot of these black men are messed up now. Because women will transfer their animosity toward men to little boys. That is no different to me than a man transferring his desire for women or his hatred to women to little girls. Either way it goes, it is not okay. But as a woman and as a mother, as somebody who's given birth and loves children and advocates for children and seriously believes in the protection of children, I personally will not get on this bandwagon of trying to demonize little kids because they are black and they are boys. That is insane. It is sick. It is wrong. Let me repeat that. It is insane. It is sick. It is wrong. And I dare one of you heifers to try to justify that shit. I dare one of you guys to sit and try to justify why your hatred toward a child is okay. Why your disdain for a child is okay. Something is very wrong here. Something is very wrong when women are trying to find reasons to hate children, to dislike children. When China adopted the policy to murder little girls, when parents were going out and they were getting abortions to kill little girls, to murder female fetuses, that was evil. Hear me when I say it, it was evil, it was wrong. The devaluing of women is a horrible thing. The devaluing of little boys is a horrible thing too. We cannot devalue children. They are children. What is wrong with you guys? Children are innocent. The most naughty child. When I see a naughty child, the first thing that I am concerned about is what is happening to them. Who has damaged them? Who has hurt them? I feel protective when I come by a child who's not acting naturally. I don't feel like that's a monster. I've never looked at a troubled child and thought, "Oh, that's a monster. What a disgusting little child. Let's do away with." I've never thought that. My concern is when a child is twisted and broken, I'm looking at the adults in their vicinity trying to figure out who hurt this little child, who stole their childhood from them, who broke them, who had the audacity to ruin something that is pure and precious that we find in children. I have compassion toward children. Yes, even little black boys. What a terrible person you have to be to not be able to bring compassion and love out of yourself for a child simply because you don't like their gender and you don't like their skin color. I've never heard of something so insane. I feel very, very strongly about this. That is insane. Our Steph H, it is a well-known fact. Steph said China adopted a one-child policy. First of all, that one-child policy was not uniform throughout China. Second of all, the children that were killed the most are girls. They were girls. They did not explicitly say you must kill little girls, but everybody knows the majority of the children that were aborted were daughters. That's a well-known fact. That is a well-known fact. That's indisputable. They're suffering the repercussions of that policy today, of people choosing to devalue female unborn children. JT Devereaux said, should this be for Sin? Absolutely not. Sin and I have talked about this on her channel. So no, this is not for Sin. This is for multiple Black women throughout YouTube, Black women that I see in comment sections. Don't try to minimize this to one human being. Cynthia doesn't have control over the freaking world. Each individual woman has authority over herself. But nice try, JT. We have to separate our feelings about adults from children. Like I said, when you have adult men who like sex with women trying to transfer their desires for women onto children, we understand that is wrong. When you have adults who like to fight other adults, take their fist and punch a child, we understand that is wrong. So why is it that we do not understand that if you have disdain for a sex and you apply that to a child, that is wrong? That is wrong. There should be no question about that. There should be no question about that. We should never, as women, ever have a conversation. We give birth to all of humanity. If we are not 1,000% on board for the protection of children of both genders, and like I said, of any race, this is not a race exclusive thing to me. This is not a gender exclusive thing to me. As women, all children should be safe with us. We should never, as women, get into a conversation about when it is okay to devalue a child. That is not our place to devalue children. If you are a woman who devalues a child, who has animosity and hatred toward a child, you really need to check yourself. You really need to check in with you and figure out what is wrong with me. You need to not be around any child. You need to simply separate yourself from any situation when a child is around. Something is wrong with you. I really don't understand. As a mother to sons and daughters, I do not understand the concept of hating children, of saying that a child is evil simply because they remind you of a grown man who did you wrong, a grown man that you don't like. We would never accept this kind of behavior from men, ever. We would never accept a man imposing his feelings and desires about women onto little girls. So why do you think the hypocrisy is okay? They are children. 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 Brianna Nicole said many people hate children. I don't think any of us needs to be told that. I'm sure many of us were abused by people who hate children. I'm sure many of us were beaten, raped, mistreated, and abused by people who hate children. I know this for a fact. Hey, Sin. Well, there you go, JT. I just had to time somebody out because they were trying to throw this on you. There you go, JT. Straight from Sin's mouth. Yeah, lots of people have been hurt at the hands. I know I have. I've been hurt at the hands of people who hated children, who had disdain for children. As women, y'all know I love women and I respect the womb and I respect motherhood. But you guys know a big thing for me is that children should always, that is a safe zone. We don't bring little kids into our ish. We don't try to apply adult logic to children. It's not acceptable for men to do when these men are running around here trying to make it all make sense about how they want to treat little girls like women. We don't allow that. No more than we should allow women to want to treat little boys like adult men. Ladies, we have sons, we have nephews, we have little ones in our life. You might work in a profession where you work with little kids. You might come into an environment where there are children. And each and every child that you meet, regardless of how you feel about the adult they may become one day, each and every child that you meet is precious. And the only thing we should ever concern ourselves with is this child safe? Is this child being loved? Is this child protected? It is a very scary thing for me because I have seen so many sick, disgusting men utilize women who have unnatural ideas of children to help them exploit children. And it is women who are twisted. It is women who are twisted that allow these kind of things to go on with their assistants. We have to we give life to all of humanity. We cannot hate 50% of the life that we create. That is insane. That is adverse to everything we are as women. It is adverse. Yeah. Well, energy matcher, you know, I think that they should be dead. I don't, and this, you're making my point. The men who co-sign the behavior of those men are a problem. They are a problem that should be dealt with. But we need to keep that energy when it's women. We need to keep that same energy when it's women. Look, let's just make children a no-go zone. We need to remove children out of these conversations. These are kids. I would hate to think that a woman who had horrible disdain for children would ever be in a place where she had to watch or be in the vicinity or, God forbid, saw something bad happening to a little black male child and she did nothing because I don't like black men and that little boy is going to be a black man one day. So screw that kid. I'll just watch that kid get abused. In fact, here, have him. Do whatever you want with him because this child is worthless. I would hope that if you're harboring these kind of feelings, you would come to your senses if you were ever in a position where all that stood between a child being harmed and not being harmed was you. Was you. I think two things can be true. You can say, look, I'm not dealing with black men. I don't have time for this. The only black man who has a remote possibility of coming near me is one that is completely on point. And right now, I really don't find black men to be on point as a whole. Lakeith, don't come trolling on my channel. I don't have time for you. I don't. I have no time for you. I really don't. Like the temper tantrums and stuff. Why don't you mosey yourself on over to Sin's channel when it's time to when she opens up the phone lines to the men? Mosey yourself over there and try to make it all make sense. Don't come to my channel and try to make that crap make sense. I get sick of you guys derailing my conversations. This is not an opportunity for you to get your emotions out about Cynthia. Am I having a conversation about her? You guys annoy me with this. Can we stay on topic? Right, right. They come to my channel to throw tantrums. This is not the tantrum spot. I am not a freaking complaint box. Kick rocks with that. You guys know that what I'm saying is true. I just want you guys to tap into that. And since we're bringing up sin, let's return to what she actually said, which is that she doesn't have an issue with black male children. But she definitely thinks black men do because black men are abandoning their sons. And what I'm saying to all of you is if you have a mentality where you've gone so far into left field that you don't know how to tell a grown man aside from a little boy, then you need to check yourself. Oh, good. Yeah, Sin's gonna go live and open the phone lines. You guys can slither your way on over there. Don't come to my channel to throw tantrums. I really cannot stand that. That's very annoying. Because I don't see any of you guys over there when she opens up her phone lines. I don't see Lakeith. I've yet to see you over there. JT, I've yet to see you over there, but you guys will come over here to put out your gripes and complaints. Don't do that. You two said that little boy will become a grown man. You're only a child for so long. Well, while they're a child, they are a child. Okay? And a woman who hates children, who hates a little boy, is really not going to help. Your hatred toward him when you engage him is not going to help him become anything positive. What if a man said that? I just want to know. If a man was like, well, I don't see why I can't have sex with her. She's only going to be a child for so long. Eventually, she's going to be a girl. You guys would not think that was okay. You would not think it was okay for a man to say, well, I can have sex with little girls because they'll only be kids for so long. Eventually, they're going to be adult women. That's not an argument. We can't apply that logic to anything else. Well, I can punch them in the face now and beat them down because they're only going to be a child for so long. Eventually, they're going to be adults, so they might as well catch this ass whipping now. We would not apply that to anything else. I'm sure that was little Bootsy's idea when he had those two little black boys raped. Well, they're only going to be kids for so long. That was his logic. Isn't that what little Bootsy said? You know, oh, well, they're only going to be, kids for so long. One day they're going to be men and they need to know how to have sex with a woman. So I got a grown woman to have sex with these little 11, 12-year-old boys. We would not apply that argument to anything else. We would not apply this there'll only be kids for so long logic. So how about this? How about we agree while they're children, we treat them like children. We give them the respect of getting the nurturing and love and protection that they deserve while they are children. And then when they become an adult, feel free to hate on, okay? Carry on with your regularly scheduled program. But unless you can apply your logic to every single situation where an adult wants to do wrong by a child, then maybe it's not good logic. Maybe that's not good logic. Like I said, for me, this is not debatable. I just don't see what the debate is. It's not debatable, and I'm not going to stand here long. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm throwing it out there because maybe 2 or 3 days ago, on the late night, I was watching a live stream and these ladies were going hard in on little boys. And I was just like, what is wrong with these women? And that live stream was pretty deep. And I was shocked and appalled by some of the stuff I was reading in the comments section. I was like, oh, you women have issues. I just don't, whether you are a woman or a man, I do not approve of adults applying adult logic to little kids because that is how children get abused. Children get abused when adults attempt to apply adult logic to children. They try to make it make sense because we do it to the adults, we can do it to the kids. And nothing good has ever come, not one thing good has ever come of an adult applying adult logic to children. Yeah, that's the moral of the story. Leave the kids alone. Okay? Leave the kids alone. Leave the kids out of your beef. You don't like your child's father? Leave the kids out of your beef. 15 black men did you wrong? Leave the kids out of your beef. The black man punched you in the face? Leave the children out of your beef. Leave the kids out of your beef. Leave them out of your beef. The kids don't have anything to do with this. Don't pull your energy out on children. Sin, I don't know, but it was a whole live stream on little kids, on little black boys, and I was just like, what? Who does this? Who does this? Who does a whole live stream to justify why little boys are evil and are no different than grown men? I cannot. I cannot with that energy. That's not okay. So anyway, I'm not going to stay on here. I mean, that's really all that I had to say. Like, at some point, we have to check ourselves. Like, when your thought process becomes completely irrational, when your thought process becomes completely irrational, that is when you need to fall back. Oh, and speaking of, on another topic, you guys know that I'm fasting. This is day eight of my fast. And I know that a couple of you are fasting with Sheila and I. So she's, first of all, having a hard time with it. But you know, she has breast cancer. So she's having a difficult time. But I will say this, if you are fasting with us, like I know for me around day 7, I start to feel like a little bit sick, a little bit lightheaded. First of all, I hope you guys are keeping up on your salt intake. Like I've been doing pink Himalayan sea salt, but on the day before yesterday, I was out all day, like at Family Fun Day, and then we went to a concert and I didn't have as much salt. And so yesterday, when I was making dinner, I just felt very, very woozy and I just did not feel good. So I want to say, and you cannot do this every night if you're fasting with us because it will break your fast. But what you can do is you can take like half of a bouillon cube, like cut it in half and put it in 1 cup of water, like 1 cup of boiling water, and add garlic powder, a dash of cayenne pepper, and salt, a good amount of salt. Stir that up and drink it just to rebalance your electrolytes. So if you're struggling, because we're on day 8 of our fast, if you're struggling with your fast and your electrolytes have been thrown off because maybe you weren't eating salt or you're drinking too much water. I know on YouTube, on the water fast videos, they're like, I drank 2 gallons of water today. Drinking 2 gallons of water in a day is a great way to flush out your electrolytes and make you want to pass out. So you should not be drinking that much water. Drink when you're thirsty, but you know, you can take that and maybe I wouldn't do it like do it every 7 to 10 days just to rebalance your electrolytes. So, or if you don't have the bouillon cubes, I don't have bouillon cubes. You know that kind of paste, bouillon paste, I forget what it's called. You can take a half of a teaspoon of that and same thing, put it in water, boil it, uh, a little bit of salt, a dash of cayenne pepper, and some garlic powder, just plain garlic powder. Mix it up and drink it like a tea. You can't have more than 2 cups of that, so don't go over 2 cups, but that will help rebalance your electrolytes. And then after you rebalance your electrolytes, just be sure that several times a day you guys are taking a little bit of salt, like, a fourth a teaspoon to a half a teaspoon of salt a few times a day, 3, 4 times a day. Because if your electrolytes get low, y'all, you're not going to make it for this 30-day fast because you're not going to feel good. Like, you shouldn't feel lightheaded when you're going up and down stairs. You shouldn't feel dizzy if you stand up too fast. All of that is a sign that you guys are, well, you can't have, yeah, it's like broth, but you can't actually drink broth. You can't do that. Um, you could do bone broth, but the reason I personally wouldn't advise doing bone broth is number one, it takes 12 hours to make. Um, Number two, it has a lot of collagen in it, which could break your fast. And then number three, what are you going to do with the meat? Because very few of us just have bones laying around our house, but it's similar to broth, yes. But I would not say chop up carrots, onion, celery, boil it, and then drink that. Don't do that. It'll be too high in calories. But you can do like half a bouillon cube or like one half of a teaspoon of like the bouillon paste with 1 cup of water. Add salt. You do need to add salt, and then a little cayenne and garlic powder. So that's for those of you who are participating in our fast. Remember, you cannot do that every day. Every 7 to 10 days, just to rebalance your electrolytes, you can. So we're at day 8 in our fast. You could do it now, and then, in another 7 to 10 days, you could do it. But if you're fasting with us, we are almost 1/3 of the way through this fast. So you will be fine. We're almost 1/3 of the way there, just a smidge off of 20 days to go. So, no, it's not so Cherise said, is this for weight loss? No. You guys remember my giveaway with my sister's keeper and the film that I was promoting here on my channel by Sheila Young? She has breast cancer. And I think I told you guys her doctors are refusing to give her double mastectomy unless she does a round of chemo first. When she's feeling better, um, and she doesn't want to do chemo, so she's doing some fasting. But when she's feeling a little better, she'll come on to my channel and she'll talk about it because I know she really wants to bring awareness to Black women about what has happened to her in the situation, how she's been abused in this situation. But so we're fasting. She was fasting for 30 days, and I didn't want her to do it alone. And I think I'm one of the few people she knows that can do a 30-day fast because you guys know I fast a lot. So it is not for weight loss. It's just for health. But if you fast with us, you will lose weight, obviously. You'll lose about 30 pounds if you fast for 30 days. So if you're very skinny, maybe don't fast for the whole 30 days because, if you're skinny, you may not have the fat to sustain you for a 30-day fast. But I know some people are fasting for a few days. Some people are intermittent fasting. I know a couple people are doing the whole 30-day fast with us. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. If you're fasting with us and you're feeling a little sick or a little woozy or a little dizzy, that's not normal. It means your electrolytes are thrown off, and that's something you can do. But again, please don't drink that every single day. Okay. You can only drink it, every 7 to 10 days or something like that. You don't want to throw yourself out of ketosis. You don't want to break your fast. But you do want to make sure that you're feeling good so that you can function. So that's an option. So Capri said, I fasted January and lost 26 pounds. Yeah, you must be on the smaller side if you only lost 26 pounds, but that's about 30. So yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna get out of here. Please think about what I said. And for those of you who have the Cynthia G complaint, Sin said she's gonna go live. Okay. And you guys can air out your complaints when she goes live. Um, and of course, go over to the My Sister's Keeper film website or the My Sister's Keeper film YouTube page or the My Sister's Keeper film Facebook page and just show some love to Sheila. Just give her some encouragement. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Just let her know that we're with her as she is going through this fight with breast cancer. If you're a praying person, pray for her, that her doctors honor her wishes. This is crazy to me that a transgender person can have their whole body chopped up and mutilated and nobody really asks any questions. But here she is with she's stage 4 breast cancer, and they won't give her a double mastectomy unless she does chemotherapy because that's what they want to do. That's the order they want to do things in. That is insane. That's abusive to me. um, like when transgenders have more rights than cancer patients, we really have to take a step back and think about what's wrong with this world. But she'll be on here when she's feeling better because she doesn't feel the best. Obviously, there's a lot going on for her, but she'll be on here and we're going to talk about kind of everything that's been going on with her and some things during her treatment that may have caused a reoccurrence in her cancer. Just to make you guys aware, because we all have breasts. Well, all of us women have breasts, and it's an important topic. But yeah, so join us on the fast if you haven't already. If you're fasting with us already, make sure that you take care of your body. Get your electrolytes in, get your salt in every day. I don't want you to be sick through the fast because we still have 22 days to go. So, anyway, I will talk to you guys later.